Wow, wow, wow. So loved hearing from everybody, but welcome to the Breakfast of Champions call. My name is James Zhang, chairperson level 2 with Partner Co. Been involved in network marketing for the past 15 years and very blessed to be one of the top power rankers in the entire world out of over 200,000 partners. And I bring that up not to impress you at all, but because today I have a very important message because nowadays, it happens where people are around me. And fortunately, many times they say, James, you're always so faithful. You're always so hopeful. You're always so confident. How can you be like that? And I kind of chuckle because if only you knew who I was before, you would know that it wasn't always that way. For many, many years of my life, I was struggling with disbelief. Have you ever had a God sized goal? You knew you wanted to hit a big promotion, you knew you wanted success for you and your family. And yet, the moment that you walked out of that thought, you started to have self defeating thoughts. Immediately you would think, what if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if this goes wrong? Man, this happened to me before. What if that doesn't happen again? Man, they're different from me. And all of a sudden, you become your worst enemy. Have you had that happen before? And I'm going to tell you that I've dealt with that for many, many years, a majority of my life. But then I realized the secret to flipping that script. And once I did, and you can too, everything started to change for me. So that's what I want to share with you today. So that sounds interesting. Be sure to lock in. You might want to replay this or share this with other people as well. So it's 2017. If you've heard my story before, we just hit our biggest promotions, had our biggest sales years in business. Life was great until it wasn't. And almost as quickly, well, it wasn't quickly. It took 6 years to get to a multiple six figures business. But it's so quick for things to fall apart. And that year was literally hell on earth. And we lost almost everything, lost our business, lost our faith, lost our finances, almost lost our family. Like it was really bad. And at the bottom of the bottom, I remember we didn't give up on our business, but we kept on every day still doing the do. We were still doing our business. One thing I did learn is don't quit. But did you know that there's a big difference of not quitting and succeeding? I think that's kind of course, don't quit on your dreams. Of course, don't quit on your business. But I also don't want you to stay there as well, too. One of my biggest fears, and I hope it's yours as well, too, is to be in that place where you never quit, but you also never succeed. I have seen people be this way before. I've been to conventions where I see someone that's been involved in the same business for 20 years, and yet they're at the same results for all those 20 years. And it makes me wonder, why do our results not change? How is it that some people do incredible things and it looks like everything they touch turns into gold? And how is it that others, and for many years myself, feel like we're stuck over and over and over again? Have you felt that way before? Well, it wasn't until I actually understood who we are and how we function. I'm going to give you a little bit of psychology today because there's a scripture that says that when you know the truth will set you free. And I want to give you that truth today. Why is it that we doubt? Why is it that we have self defeating prophecies? Why is it that we mean well and yet we keep on shooting ourselves in the foot and we go through this yo yo effect of emotional roller coaster? Well, the truth is this is that when you make a decision or you have a thought of wanting to do more, let's say, for example, you're making $1,000 a month and you get inspired and like, I want to make 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. I want to retire my family. I want to go on dream vacations. We just threw a big Punta Cana incentive for our team. Like, I want to go to Punta Cana. And you're like, I want to go there. And all of a sudden, it gets really tough. The reason why it feels like you're going in an uphill battle is because you are. You see, in our lives, we have a spirit, which is who we are. We have a mind, which is how we think. And then we have a body. We're three aspects in one: a spirit, a mind, and a body. Our body is where we have our results. Our body is our flesh and blood. Our body is the actions that we take. And then we have results as we take these actions. If you're in business, you make prospecting calls, you make posts, and you're going to get certain results with those actions that you take. But why is it that even though we want better results, we don't get them. Well, it wasn't until I realized that the controller of my results was not just what I do every single day. Of course, we need to take action. The controller was what my mind really said about myself. And you see, our mind is divided into two aspects of it. I hope you get this. Our mind has a conscious mind. This is where you can think. If I tell you, think about your breathing, you can breathe right now, right? You're like, okay, now I'm breathing. But usually it's automatic. You have a conscious mind, but then you also have a subconscious mind. The subconscious mind are the automatic parts of us. The subconscious mind are the things that control your heart rhythms. Can you imagine you had to think about beating your heart all the time? You go crazy, right? Most of our thoughts are subconscious. Did you know there's 60,000 thoughts we think every single day? And 95 plus percent of those are subconscious thoughts. Okay. Why am I building this up? Why is this so important? Because when you start to understand this and you understand how you actually change your thoughts to change your actions, to change your results, you realize why we doubt. Because in our subconscious, you have a set point towards your results. Case in point, I think we are all aware that we have a weight that we fluctuate at, right? For me, it's 175 pounds. Whether it's body composition or more muscle or more fat, I kind of hover there. How about for you? Have you noticed? You don't have to share it with anybody, but have you noticed you have a set point? Interesting. And like a thermostat, if you go to above it, you're like, oh, I got to go diet. I got to go. If you're in our business where these body balancing drops, I got to go on the drops. I got to go exercise, whatever that it is. If you go under that set point, you're like, I got to eat more. You don't have to tell me to eat more, by the way. I will automatically eat more. But you always go back to that set point. Isn't that interesting? In your results, in your business, in your finances, in your lifestyle, you have a set point too. We call these set points of subconsciously held thoughts paradigms. So important that you understand this because when I understood how I worked, I then knew the tools and how I could go across it. So let's go back to that money goal. Let's say you want to 10x your money and you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm excited. I got the tools. I'm ready. I mean well. And instantly, what starts to happen is doubt creeps in. What makes you think you can do that? You've never done that before. No one else has done that around you. What makes you think you're so special? You're being egotistical. You're being greedy. What if you fail? Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you're familiar with these voices because I'm super familiar with them. Why did these happen? It's because we are going against an uphill battle. It's because your conscious mind is battling against your subconscious mind. And if you understand that your subconscious mind is 95% of your thoughts, guess what? You're in a losing battle typically. Going and changing your paradigm, changing your belief on who you are and the image of who you are is the hardest work there is to do in the world. This is why most people in the world don't think. They think, but they're not thinking. Think about it. If you ask somebody in their day, what'd you think about today? Most of us don't actually actively think. We're not intentional with our thoughts. We let the day run us. We let the environment run us. Case in point, have you ever been around somebody and they're like, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I just feel horrible. Well, who's in control of someone's feelings? You can change the way you feel, can't you? But most of us are controlled and dictated by our external environment. We have not seized the opportunity and learned to master our own ability to actually control how we think, how we feel, and how we act. If you want to be successful in your business, if you want to be successful in your life, if you want to counter negative beliefs and break the cycle, you got to start flipping the script. I explain these details of psychology because it wasn't until I realized that that's how it was that I learned why I kept on going against a brick wall. And then I realized what I had to do to overcome it. So, what do? You need to flip the script. You need to start doubting your doubts. So, my challenge to you today is start doing a mental inventory towards the goals that you have and the negative thoughts that you have. I set a goal, and let's say for our team, we have this Punta Cana thing. And you know what I think? I've never done that before. So what makes me think I can do that? You have to start thinking about what you think about, and you have to challenge these things. Okay, you have to stop. So I'm going to jot it down, and I'm going to put it on paper. I'm like, So I'm saying to myself that I can't do it because I've never done it before. Is that true or not true? Then you have to replace it with a truth. What's a truth? The truth is this: any single thing you want to do is going to be something you've never done before. So if it were true that you cannot accomplish something because you didn't do it before, then you never do anything in life. You know what else I think? I think if someone else could do it and they're a real human being and they're doing the same thing that I'm doing, if I do what they do the way they do it, then so can I. Do you see how this starts to work? You have to start flipping the script. So you start saying these things to yourself whenever those negative thoughts come in. You have to go to battle against the negative thoughts. And it's up to you. No one else can do it. Your spouse can't do it. Your kids can't do it. Your parents can't do it. Your mentors can't do it. Only you are in control of the thoughts you allow to go through the gateway of your mind. We have to go to battle against this. You have to be on the offensive. You keep on looking at the other thoughts and you start to think, well, I'm not smart enough and I'm not intelligent enough in order to be successful in my business. Who made you say that? When did you come into agreement with that? Who said you had to be smart to do well in something like your business, to do well in your goals? There are so many people in the world that are not academically smart, quote unquote, but they're able to be they are geniuses. You have to understand that if you were born in the image of God, to discount yourself and to say that you're not intelligent is to discount your creator. If the God of the universe knows everything about everyone and he created you and you have a purpose, whenever we have a self-limiting belief, you know what I think? I am poo-pooing God. And I'm like, you made a mistake. What makes you think you're so egotistical to say that he made a mistake? That's what I say to myself. So I have to be like, oh, I'm sorry. I have to change my mind on that. I'm like, no, that's not the case. I'm believing the lies that the world's told me, that I've told me, that the schools have taught me, that everyone else has taught me. Maybe a loved one told you something, that you couldn't amount to anything. What makes you think they know what you're capable of? What makes you think they know your future champion? Start thinking about what the truth actually is. There is a reason you're here. There is a purpose you're here. I believe that if you're inspired by a thought, if you're inspired by an action, here's the truth. Inspiration is two words: in spirit. In spirit. You see somebody get a promotion, you see somebody do something great, you're like, if they could do it, so can I. You know what that means? That means that element is within you as well too. Your spirit aligns with their spirit and you capture something. So are you going to come into alignment with that? Or are you going to disagree that was possible? When I realized that that's what inspiration was, anytime I'm inspiring, I change my mind. Instead of saying, I don't know if I can do it, you know, I started doing, and I encourage you to do this. I said, thank you. I said, thank you. When I see someone doing amazing things that I want, I'm inspired. I say, thank you. You know why? I'm like, thank you, God, because I know if you could do for them, you could do for me. Start coming into agreement, start coming into gratitude for the thing being already done. Guys, this changed my life, flipping the script. This changed my life, starting to understand how this all works. This empowered me. This removed me from shackles. This gave me freedom. And it will for you as well too. But it's up to you to take charge of how your mental thoughts work. All right? Let me give one last thing, and this will be scriptural. So it may or may not be for you, but this last part changed the way that I think totally. Totally. There's a cool scripture. If you want, you can research it. It's Ephesians 3:20. But it says that God can do exceedingly, abundantly more than I could ever ask or imagine. Exceedingly, abundantly more than I can ask or imagine. Think about this, because this changed. I used to think, man, if I hope too big, I might be disappointed. That was a lie. You know, I realized I flipped it. I said, if I hope too big, there is no too big because God will top it. So if I dream small, God can only meet me so much. So if I can dream big dreams, huge dreams, the biggest that I can ask or imagine, He'll top it. So that means that if my plan doesn't work, guess what? God's plan is better. Someone needed to hear this today. When I started to understand that that was a truth, I changed and I flipped the script. And I think crazy dreams. I stopped shooing them to the side. Say, you know, I thought it. I could imagine it. Let's put it down. Let's go see what happens. We're going to help hundreds of people get to the top 0.1% in this company. We're going to be number one in the world. We're going to make huge impact. I'm going to be donating and tithing millions of dollars to our church. Like whatever it is, we're going to be traveling the world with our entire family. What is it that you can imagine biggest? What is it you can expect biggest? Because whatever that is, if that's not it, God will top it. Oh, man. Oh, man. So I hope you're getting something out of this today. If you've been debilitated by your doubts and your fears, today we flip the script. Today we come against it. Today you've been given the tools mentally, spiritually, emotionally in order to change them. And it's up to you now. I toss it back to you, champion. It's up to you to take claim on this. I just want to end it with this note. I know what it feels like to be your own worst enemy. I know what it felt like to every day. It was monotonous work because, you know, I heard talk like this and I wanted to be true right away. But to be honest, I went through a year of depression. I had to doubt every single thing. And it felt like when I went through this exercise, it was a lot of work. Because as quickly as I'd have a goal, I'd then have a negative thought right afterwards. And then I'd counter it. And then you give me 10 more minutes, another negative thought would come and I countered it. And then 5 minutes again. And then it's like, wow, it was like this crazy. It was almost like I had like a double mind. And I'm like, what happened here? How did this happen? I was so deeply traumatized by what happened in my life that it was really tough. But let me give you this promise. If you commit to this process of flipping the script, of taking the lies, replacing it with the truth, of continuing to stand in that and take action moving forward daily, consistently, you give it some time. And remember, there finally came a time 30, 60, 90 days in. I remember I woke up one day and those thoughts were not there anymore. Those defeating thoughts are not there anymore. I didn't count myself out anymore. I started getting a thought and I just accept it. And it was like this burden was lifted off of me. It was like I was free of all those lies. And I realized that that was the day that I achieved that breakthrough and had freedom in my thought life. And when that happened, and it will happen for you too, what that really means is your conscious became your subconscious. The new thoughts became the actual thought. And your set point was you're a winner. Your set point is you're a champion. Your set point is anything you think about that comes into alignment will be done. Like your set point is of hope. Your set point is confidence. Your set point is just somebody that is just so positive that it affects everyone around you. You can literally program yourself to be that way because I was able to. And I'm no different from somebody like you. God gifted you with the exact same instruments of mindset to be able to do that. So I hope you believe this. And if you don't, borrow my belief for just enough. Keep on coming onto calls like this every day, Monday through Friday. We have this Breakfast of Champions call. We will brainwash you in the most positive way for you to change your mind about who you are and unlock the champion that you were designed and created to be. If you missed this plus others, go to bocpodcast.com. You might want to re-listen to this or share this with others. Other than that, champion, flip the script starting today because you and your family deserve it. All right. On that, I'll toss it back to you. Have a great one. God bless.